Hello everyone, this is Jasmeet Bhatia from Landmark Global Learning Limited, and today we have a special guest, Miss Wilma Paul from University of Plymouth, UK. So the university is in southern part of the UK, and I'll be grateful that Miss Wilma has joined today in our live session so that we can give a lot of information to the students who are looking at UK as a strategic location. And as right now UK we have a very high visa success rate, which is like above 99% only. So and right now UK is a destination where students are looking for. So welcome to our live show, Wilma, and I hope students and parents will get a lot of important information what we're going to discuss today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Just a small introduction. My name is Wilma Paul, and I'm the South Asia Regional Manager at the University of Plymouth. It's a large modern university in the city of Plymouth in southwest England. It's a very scenic city, so I will also talk about, why students should study with us as we move along the session today. So, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So my first question is I know that the university has a lot of history and it's very old in UK. So tell us something about the university's history and why should students look at southern part of UK, I know there are a lot of benefits and we explain them small city atmosphere, you can save on accommodation. But when they actually listen from your side, then they actually believe that this is the college representative telling us the right information. So what is the history of the university and why should student look at your university?
Sure. So, if you probably heard me earlier, I did say that Plymouth is a modern university. But the most beautiful aspect about the university is that its roots go back to the 1800s. So, we are actually a city and a university that has very rich heritage, very rich culture. We are a naval base as well. So, the UK Navy is based in Plymouth as well. Recently we've been very popular in the news as well for being a center for marine autonomy, and this again goes back to our history in marine and maritime and shipping. So it is a port city as well, and from our pictures you will see that we are an oceanfront city. So our university is right in the center of the campus, of the city, and students can literally walk to the seafront within a few seconds. It also has its history in medical and dental sort of subject areas. We have our own medicine and dentistry schools. And the city of Plymouth is, above all the maritime and marine history, we are also a health hub. So we are home to a very diverse range of doctors, nurses, practitioners, all kinds of physiotherapy, occupation therapy practitioners as well. So side by side, along with our, sort of maritime and marine history, we're also leading in a lot of health and engineering areas. So the city has developed, vastly over the couple of years now, and students who study with us get benefits from all these industries. So the history is sort of seamlessly intertwined in everything that we teach at the university as well. So there is a strain of sustainability, conservation that gets reflected in a lot of our courses as well.
That's great. Yeah. So it's kind of 160 years old university where students will be
Yes.
looking forward to studying
Yes.
at. And so you have one city campus, and the city is also known as
Yes.
Plymouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how far? What is the situation like? How does the student travel to your city when they have to join, or what kind of services the students are expecting when they land in UK?
Sure. So Plymouth is about 3 hours from London. So when students from overseas travel to the UK, they would ideally fly to London Heathrow or Gatwick. From there, we have excellent connectivity, either by coach, which is your bus service, or by train. Every year, we also usually have airport pickup services at Heathrow as well. It is a very scenic journey. It is not far from London at all. A 3 hour pleasant scenic train journey is something that actually works in our benefit, because the further away you travel from really large, crowded cities, the more cost effective your living gets. So we have been over the years consistently recording the lowest costs of living for students. So our living costs usually range from around 900 to 1100 pounds a month, which is a really, really good deal to be studying and working in a city like Plymouth. Last year, PwC also ran a report on good cities, and we were ranked in the top five across different areas. So they, take different things into consideration, like accommodation, lifestyle, employability, health and well-being, and so on. So while we are a smaller city when you compare it to, other cities, it is a very compact city, and that's what students really like. The cost of living is low. It's really not far away from the other big cities. We have great connectivity by train and by flight to different cities, even to Europe and to other parts of the world as well. So the nearest airports are in Exeter and Bristol, so students can easily fly to different areas as well. So that way, I think it's a benefit to be far away while offering students, excellent services, excellent housing and accommodation, excellent part-time work as well. So from an ROI perspective, I think Plymouth is a very, very good deal for students.
Yeah, that's great. Like in central London, for accommodation cannot be arranged for that kind of money. Yeah, so
Yes, that
even
is the exact comparison that we draw. Is usually 45 to 48% cheaper than, London to actually live in Plymouth.
yeah,
Yeah.
and less crowded. London is too crowded these days. I personally don't feel it's right for the students to choose London right now. Specifically, if they are looking at a Bombay, Delhi kind of an environment, then London is for them. But if they are looking at a peaceful study destination, then I feel smaller cities play a very, very important role. So coming
That's true.
back to like I know like I have seen like a lot of faculties in your like you are taking care of health, business, engineering, and a lot of faculties are there. So which is like the top courses from India, perspective? A lot of students which prefer to take up those courses in your universities. What kind of those courses is
Yeah.
your, which is the highlight courses of your university?
Yeah. So there are two faculties that are ranking very well in terms of our student numbers, student popularity. The first is health, and it goes back to what I was saying about Plymouth being a health hub. So our clinical psychology, physiotherapy, occupational therapy are very highly ranked courses for us as well, because in terms of, I think, the way the courses are designed, the practice that is offered to students, and the placements that are offered to students, I think students are finding Plymouth very, very highly employable in terms of all the healthcare programs. So even nursing and dentistry, I would say, although our intakes are smaller because of guaranteed placements that we need to offer those students, both nursing and dentistry also have courses that are very appealing to Indian students. Psychology has been popular for many, many years because we offer clinical psychology. So it's a really popular sort of area. And our MSc psychology is BPS accredited. So again, students want the British Psychological Society accreditation as well. And that is something that we offer them. Speaking about the School of Health Professions, which has physio, occupational therapy, neuro rehab, these are all 1 year professional courses. So students who are already physiotherapists and occupational therapists here in India find these courses really, really sort of high in demand. So we get most of our applicants for these programs. Second in importance, I would say, is our computing and IT. So obviously, data science and business analytics, cybersecurity is again our highest performing course in that school. Plymouth has done robotics for many, many years. We are actually a leading university in that area. So robotics and AI and mechanical engineering all to go together basically. So we've got very, very good courses in all of these areas as well. I mentioned earlier, Plymouth is a naval base. We've got a huge 50 million sort of funding for our defense strategy for the next couple of years. We are a research center for all defense related sort of engineering as well. So we are looking at a very exciting time in the next 5 years for job generation in terms of all engineering tech related sort of areas. So it's a very good place to be actually.
We get a lot of queries like people are looking at design, architect. So those kind of courses are also offered at your university.
Yes, we have separate schools, in fact, for them. The business school actually is the most popular one on campus, and it's the most populous one as well in terms of international students. Highest concentration, I would say, is in the business school, and they do finance, project management, And obviously, our MBA is becoming very, very popular. We removed the work entry requirement, which we had earlier. So now it's almost like a freshers MBA, and it has gained in popularity quite a bit, I would say, in India. And our School of Architecture and Design is quite prestigious. They've got the REBA architecture courses, so REBA 1, 2, and 3. And the design school has recently launched a new portfolio of master's courses in communication design, experience design, and then product interior, and so on. So, in fact, that school has a lot of industry led teaching. So, they all actually work in studios. So, it's a studio work based course in the design school. So, yes, we do have art and design and architecture courses as well, and students really enjoy studying those courses because it's not all lecture based. It's actually hands on creativity, and we've got state of the art facilities to back all of that up, so they do really enjoy studying those courses.
Great. So, what are the entry requirements for undergraduate and postgraduate courses?
Yeah, so I'll begin with postgraduate because we are fairly flexible in terms of entry criteria. Any student actually who has probably a 55 to 60% and who's applying for an arts, humanities, business related course can directly apply. Of course, other entry requirements like English language, certain courses will ask for math. Those entry criteria are subject to different things. But if you have basic good grades and good English, you can apply to any of the courses in arts, humanities, business. For science and health, we have a 2-1 requirement, so that would require a 60 to 65% and above in your undergraduate sort of degree. We also accept diploma students onto our top ups, so we have a range of top up programs as well. So as long as they are level 5, 6, we can accept them onto those courses. Undergraduate, we are a bit strict in terms of the UCAS tariff. So again, for health and medicine, we will stick to the UCAS tariff table. So if it says 120 UCAS tariff points and above, we will usually ask for 70 to 75%. But maximum of the courses don't ask for that much. So maximum of the courses will take anyone with a 60 to 70% average in their 12th as well. And then, of course, the GCSE standard 10 math is usually a requirement for accounting, finance, business courses. And then, of course, for art and design, there's portfolio requirement. So we do have a mandatory portfolio assessment for all architecture and design courses, whether it's undergraduate or postgraduate. For undergraduate, it's not an advanced one that we require, but for postgraduate, yes, they will require a proper portfolio.
And what is the tuition fees for undergraduate level and for master's level? And is there any kind of scholarship for the students?
Yes, we do. So, in fact, last year we consolidated all our scholarships into one automatic scholarship now. So, our undergraduate fees range from 18 to 19,000 pounds. But with the 6,000 pound scholarship, it will obviously go down to about 14 and a half thousand pounds. For postgraduate, also the arts humanities ones will be around 18,150 to 18,950. The engineering, science, health courses will be around 19 to 21,000 pounds. Again, you have the mandatory automatic 4,000 pound scholarship. So the minute a student gets an offer, basically, they will get the scholarship. So there's no application-based scholarship anymore. You meet the entry requirements, you get your offer, you get the scholarship as well. So it's automatically applied to all students' applications on the portal. We also have a early bird discount. So if students decide that they would like to pay their balance fee after paying their deposit before our deadline, then they get an extra 500 on that. So whatever balance fee they will pay 500 lesser than what it has to be paid.
Okay. And then we have some questions coming in, like what is the maximum gap acceptable by this university? Like for undergraduate or for postgraduate level, how much gap is
Yeah.
acceptable?
So I'll start with postgraduate. Again, we're quite flexible, but if the student has a gap of more than 5 years, for example, it goes straight to credibility check. So that application will go to the credibility team, who will then probably interview the student, ask for some additional information, which is which may not be available on their CV. So that goes directly to those checks. For undergraduate, we will not accept a very long gap between their 12th and the date of application. So ideally, 2 to 3 years is what we would accept. Anything above that, again, will go straight to credibility check, and it'll all depend on that interview, basically.
Hmm. So, is there a credibility interview for all the students, or this is just for the students who have a gap?
So there is a credibility interview for all students from certain regions in India. So we have something called the personal statement supplement. It's a mandatory document that has to be filled by every student in India, basically. Based on that, the answers in that PSS, the student will get called either for a credibility interview, or they will be asked for their finances, or sometimes both. So there are students who may be applying from other states in India, where the risk is not that much, the risk margin is not that much. But usually for North and Central India, a lot of students will get a call for interview, which will be a very short interview. It's not very long, and it's basically very straightforward. To help students, we have already published our list of credibility questions on the website. So that also helps a lot of students who are preparing for UKVI interviews. So we have got some 10-20 question and answers that are on the website already. That will really help them to gain that confidence in answering questions. Yeah.
So, there's another question that are you offering MRES programs?
Yeah, so this is a very good question, because I know what you mean by MRes. You're basically looking for a research master's. At the University of Plymouth, the research masters are called RESM. So they're RES, capital M. We have around 15 to 20 courses, but mostly in science, engineering, and health and medicine. We don't have them for business or IT or tech. And these courses are 1 to 1.5 year, and the application process is slightly different, because you have to take a supervisor sort of approval before, for your research proposal, before you make a final application online. So we obviously help students a lot in this regard. Now, MRes, please remember, although we do have MRes courses, they are taught courses, so they are not research courses. So just keep that in mind, when choosing a research master's, basically, because a lot of other universities have MRes, basically, and they're obviously open to dependents. But ours is a proper research master's as per UKVI standards, and that will obviously accept dependents as well.
Okay. So, there's another question. What is the criteria for English waiver for entering a program?
Yeah. So if a student has in their standard 12 sort of English, we accept both state board and central board. So for central board, it is 75 and above in English in 12th. For state board, it's 85 and above in English in 12th. A disclaimer here that students, obviously from the north and central regions in India, have to also give a mandatory Duolingo if we accept the waiver. And we've chosen Duolingo because obviously it's more cost effective, it's simpler, and there is a plan, in future, to kind of provide some Duolingo sort of tests as well. So that's why we went with Duolingo. So students who have 85 and above in state board, 75 and above in CBSE, IC, we will accept that with a Duolingo sort of check.
Yeah. So, what is there a specific course in Duolingo? Like, what is the specific
The
score
normal,
in Duolingo?
yeah, the score is as the same as our PG and UG requirement, which is on the website, 105 and 120 respectively. So whatever is on the website, that's the same thing that we will accept.
So, there are a lot of questions we have discussed already. Students, you can redo the live and listen to it. We've discussed the location. We've discussed entry requirements. Is there any program which is without exam in Plymouth? Without exam, I did not understand this question. So there is an
Oh,
English.
so
Yeah, yeah.
lots of our courses don't have exams. So it's all based on coursework. And
Okay.
if you have lab activity, then you'll have practicals. The
Mhm.
best thing about our website is that every course that is featured on the website, each module will tell you whether it's 100% coursework or 50% coursework and 50% exams, or 30% practicals. So we are very transparent that way. So on the course page, when you're looking at your course, each module will tell you how much of it is exams, how much of it is coursework. And it is very normal to not have exams at all, and to just be graded on the basis of your coursework.
So, how much experience is required for health programs?
So, if you're going for example, a bachelor's in nursing or something, then there is no work experience. But if you're applying for nursing or the advanced professional practice courses, then they would definitely look for at least a year of experience. Students who are already registered, for example, nurses or physiotherapists or occupational therapists, they will already come with that experience because usually they have 6 months of internship, and sometimes they have work based learning as well. So anything which falls within a year is absolutely fine with us.
Yeah. So right now, seeing the current scenario, seeing what makes UK as a strong study destination, and
Yeah.
why is the right time for international students to choose UK right now?
Yeah. So historically, I think we all know quality over quantity. So UK definitely, in terms of quality, ranks very, very high in terms of the institution output. Now, for example, Plymouth has a TEF, Teaching Excellence Framework, gold rating, which means our teaching quality, student experience, and student outcomes have all been rated gold. Now, one good thing about the UK is, although it gives a lot of obviously importance to academics over co-curricular activities and so on, it simply means that they are looking for an excellent output. So students who are genuinely looking to study very good programs and be truly employability ready, I would say, should definitely choose UK, because while we every year we go through a lot of immigration related changes, policy related changes, some things that remain unchanged are sort of the experiences that universities are giving students. That has not changed. So if a university is providing you high quality teaching, that has not changed. In fact, it has improved. If some universities like ours, for example, are improving their career output and improving their career guidance, that has not changed. That also has improved over the years. For example, we never had a career tool before, but now we have something called My Career. And it's a very robust mechanism. It's on our website, and all students get a login to that. And from there, they can pick the entire database of our employers. They can also apply for jobs within our sort of database. They can also attend all of our employability events. So, for example, they meet an employer at one of our fairs. So they go back to their portal and they finish their application. So a lot of universities also are still running their placement courses in the sandwich courses, which have an optional placement here. Some of us also have a placement here after post graduation as well. So the mechanisms have not changed. What has changed, obviously, is the filtering of genuine versus non genuine. So that is something I think that as a country, I don't think they will ever change in the near future. But I think universities are playing the really good part in sort of modifying their requirements, modifying their entry criteria to make it possible for more and more students to apply easily. And that's what we also do, because we are seeing a lot of genuine students coming from India. A lot of my students end up with really good jobs as well. It's very sad to see that not many people are talking about this. They're talking about everything else. No
Yeah,
one's
yeah.
talking the good work that some of our students are doing. And I hope one day there is some mechanism to record all of that. So universities are doing this on a very individual level. But I think as a country, I think the UK probably needs to do a lot more in terms of this. So we have such excellent student stories to tell about what our students are actually doing. Even if you come back to India, a lot of students are doing very great work. So nobody is, not satisfied or very upset that they haven't, got a job or something like that. Everybody is employed or doing a PhD or something like that. So I think with us, we highlight that a lot more instead of, focusing on others things as well.
So, from your experience, what qualities or skills should the students, have to succeed academically or professionally in UK?
Yeah. Yeah. So when we look at students when they come as freshers, obviously a lot of them are lacking, firstly, in communication skills. So some of them may be very good at studies, they may have very high grades. But when it comes to delivery, and that's what UK tests you, the education system really will test your communication skills, your critical thinking skills, because usually these are taken for granted when students are studying here. So the course itself becomes challenging, and that's how students develop the skills that are required by employers. Employers also want students who have very quick decision making skills. So that is something that we have also observed, especially in healthcare. Students who are very confident, who know exactly what they need to do. These things are something that we also develop during their course. So when they are finally ready to get into sort of the healthcare industry or any other industry, they're not lacking in any of that. All of them have the subject skill. That's something that we've observed. But what is obviously lacking is the communication skills, the soft skills, as we would say, and definitely the skill to diversify. So you may be good in one area, but if you can multitask, obviously that is always taken as obviously a benefit. So these are things that we often help students in our career sessions, to be able to public speaking as well, and just basic confidence related sort of skills that students should have, because they all have other skills like IT and everything. They're all very good in terms of students who study cyber security and all of that. Their technical skills are excellent. So it's just the delivery of that I think is required. Yeah.
So which intakes we are open to now, students? Which intakes we are
September.
recruiting?
We're all
Yeah,
working very hard towards the September intake. And then we have
yeah.
a Jan intake as well, but Jan is non UG. So for Jan, we only have 20 courses over the business school and School of Engineering and Computing. And then again, we have an April intake for RESM only. So we've closed our applications right now because April, we're already in April. So this is the RESM intake. But now we're moving to the September, which is open for all.
Okay. So, what kind of support? Yeah, this is my next question. What kind of support the university is providing for international students? Because especially in the first year, they are looking at some support from your university side,
Yeah.
even academically and personally too. So, what kind of support is the university providing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, one thing we always tell students to do is to please come during orientation and induction, because
Yeah.
that's the time you will meet your faculty, you will meet your immediate peers, and obviously you will meet all our support services, right, from the international office who works with us. We also have an international student advice, so immigration and student advice team. So that team is specifically for students who have UKVI immigration related queries. Then we have the student hub. The student hub is right in the center of campus in the library, and they are your one-to-one support for anything you may need for student experience. You lost your way, you want to see a doctor, medical support, anything. So the student hub is there. The Students' Union, which is one of the largest in the UK, actually, they are also a great source of support for students. So when students arrive on campus, we personally first tell them to go and join their societies. So we have an Indian society, we have an Asian society, and just to have that feeling of community, basically, that I'm not alone. So students can go and join these societies, and it's a great source of part-time work as well, because they have all the leads that students will require to start part-time work in the first few initial months, and then they can change later if they want. Now, in school, their professors, obviously, as you know, are their supervisors. So every single student has a designated supervisor. So students should never feel shy to ask them questions, ask them for extra time after a class, because they are very open to that. And in fact, they want students to ask them, but a lot of our Indian students don't ask. So utilize your faculty support to the 100%, because it's there for you. So you will never feel like you're left alone. Even if you don't have project partners, you can approach your faculty and they will assign you someone. So that's the best thing about being a student in the UK, because these facilities are there.
So there's a student by the name Gurpreet. He says, I am plus two non-medical 2025 pass out 78% with seven bands, and I want a mechanical course. Yeah, you can get a mechanical course, and I think you're eligible.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a 4-year degree in mechanical engineering. If you want to stay longer, you can do the MEng also. It's an integrated master's.
Mhm.
You can, the third year is usually an optional placement year. So year
Yeah.
one and year two is academics, year three is the placement, and fourth year is your final year, basically. So definitely you can apply. You've got a 7 band, which is great. So
Yeah.
you don't need anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, Gurpreet, we have 12 offices across India. You can visit any of our nearest offices, and there is no processing fees for the students, and there is no application fees also for the university to get an offer letter. And before we do the credibility interview, the student have to pay deposit after the credibility interview.
Yes, yes. So
That's,
once
yeah,
it's up to the student, if you would like to, you can pay. It's a task in your portal anyway. So whenever you've reached unconditional offer stage, you can go
Mhm.
ahead and pay your deposit. Sometimes it happens simultaneously also. But if you would
Mhm.
like to wait to clear your credibility checks, that's fine. You can wait and then pay your
What is
deposit.
the deposit student has to pay to apply for the visa?
3,500. 3,500.
So Gurpreet, I think it's a very, very, lower side of deposit, but I prefer students should pay full year fees, because that shows how genuine you are. And right now we have some cases where High Commission is also interviewing some students, because they want to be careful that because retainership in UK has been a problem from especially from North India. So we send students with very, very, like, you are a very, very good student with 7 bands and 78%, and you're looking specifically at mechanical engineering. So I feel it's a good thing if you can pay full year fees. It will be great for your visa application. So with so many options available, Wilma, and what are the top three factors students should prioritize when selecting a program or
Yeah.
a university also? So what do you say about your university? What are the top three factors students should look at programs and while choosing a program and while choosing a university also?
Yeah, so there are two aspects. If you obviously when you're making your checklist for where you should study, uh, first of all, obviously fees and everything is very important, but you need to be happy studying your course. That's very, very important. So please go through course content, go through the industry links and the certifications that are mentioned on these courses. Almost all of our courses that have accreditations, it'll be mentioned on the course page. You need that because if you're planning to work in the UK, and the more accredited your courses are, the better, because that will give you direct membership or direct exemptions into doing those exams and tests if you want to become, chartered members of certain societies. Second is affordability and ROI. That should be your immediate choice, and that's why I sort of reiterated earlier about the affordability factor in Plymouth. Calculate your fee, scholarship, and compare it to your living expense as well. Once you see what your entire output is, take a look at our career page and it will show you what kind of roles students can apply. And then just do a normal search of what starting salaries for those courses are. That will give you a very clear picture of what your sort of ROI for that entire 1 year or 4 years is going to be. And include the third thing I would say is universities that are offering any kind of work-based learning, placements, anything over and above your academics, which we are. So that is something that also you should consider. If you've tick marked all these three aspects, then that should give you the final choice of your university that you should study in. Don't worry about how far or where it is. Usually, thankfully, we are in a very good location in the UK, not very far from the main hub, that is London. But also we are in the southwest, so climate wise also we are not very sort of the impact is not that strong. It almost never snows in Plymouth, so terrible weather is not one of the reasons that will ever affect you as a student. So you're going to study, but you also want to feel good while studying. You don't want to be, constantly under the weather, or you don't want to worry about health issues, food. So these are things that you will never have to face in Plymouth. So obviously, it's very important that you factor these things also in.
Definitely, definitely, Wilma. So it's a great information we've given to the students right now. So he says like some of his agents he visited, they said a Punjab student from Punjab cannot take admission in mechanical course. So I feel, see, that is why we work directly with the university so that you
Yeah,
can get information from the university side. So now you've listened to the university representative and you can apply right away. And if you can't visit our office, you can apply online. You can call
yeah,
us at 90413 90412 and even send your documents and I can process your application for mechanical engineering. So, Wilma, in the end, anything you want to say to students or parents about your university? I see when I started my career back in 2007, it's been almost 20 years in this industry for me. I was fan of locations which are not, in the central, like when I was doing even Canada, US, and Germany, or any other cities, in New Zealand also, we were sending students to smaller cities only. And the feedback, I'll tell you, feedback from the students who were going to smaller location was far better than students who were going to main cities.
I
So,
agree.
and right now also, I feel students who are looking at smaller cities, they succeed better than the students who go for bigger cities. That's my personal, experience. If somebody feel, it's different, that's why when somebody comes to my office, I ask them, what is your purpose when you're going for studies,
Yes,
and
yes,
what kind of city do you like? Yeah, do you like a slower city, like peaceful, focusing on studies, and your travel time should be less. When you're in bigger city, you lose half the time traveling,
yeah.
and then that makes a huge difference. That's very stressful. So in the end, what do you want to say to our students, and their parents?
Yeah, I think Plymouth can surprise you. So, if you study with us, you will be very pleasantly surprised at the facilities and the kind of experience that your students will have. Some of them, when they reach campus, they call us back and say, we thought that you probably were. Probably you were not referring to this in a better way, but when they reach there, they're saying, "Oh my God, you were not lying. It's actually like this." So, I think the campus, the city itself, the friendliness of the community, the huge South Asian community that we have, that compared with a gold rated teaching and student support that is obviously evident in the TEF gold rating that we have. I mean, if you combine both, it's a match made in heaven. It's a win win situation. Talking about the next few exciting years that we are going to see in Plymouth in terms of job generation as well, in terms of more industry led teaching at the university. Even our business school is doing a lot to offer students micro internships as well. So the aim of the university basically is to make everyone work ready. So I think that should be your number one goal as a student. And being in a city like Plymouth, it may not be really large and busy, but it's got all the facilities of a nice city. So there's no transport cost in Plymouth because everybody walks to class. You don't have to take a bus or a cab or a train to come to class. And I've been in other cities, so I know how much time it takes me to get from point A to point B. That's non-existent in Plymouth. So you save up a lot on your accommodation as well, and you can actually choose better quality accommodation because you don't have to spend on buses and trains and all of that. I think that's what students really like. Their standard of living really improves, and it's not going to burn a hole in their pocket. So that is something that I would like to sort of end this conversation with. That it can
Thank you so much.
definitely
Yeah.
work for you. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. It's like a very, very invaluable information which we got from you today. And if any of us, if any of you have any query, you can get in touch with us at this number or send us an email or visit our nearest office and get information which is directly from the college institutes. So thank you, Wilma, for taking out time and giving us very, very good information.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.
That's what even my lecturer from the School of Health Profession said when she heard me do my talk.